everyone, this is Charles Walhingford back again with another watch talk featuring StyleCon, and we were talking about Grand Seiko. One of the things that brought this back up, I did a video, you may have seen it, if you haven't, check it out. The video on the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Diver. I love that watch, but on the comment section, a couple people were saying, hey, I wouldn't spend that much money on that watch. And that blew my mind. So I had to talk to StyleCon about it, and he has a different take on it. Go ahead, tell me why that makes sense to me. Tell me why it makes sense to you.
The reason why it makes sense to me, but I can't speak for anybody except for myself, but the price and the name on it. Now, personally, you know, you're spending $5,000 for a Seiko. That can be a lot of money. And to have it confused with, say, like a Seiko tuna, which you can get for $200 or $300, and then you got this Grand Seiko that costs, you know, 10 times as much, it can be a hard pill to swallow, at least for me.
But see, this is what I don't get. The Grand Seiko, they just recently changed the price, just to let you know. They recently changed the price, $5,700 retail. Retail. And we all know about what we do with retail prices. We don't pay them. But along with that, take that away, the Bremont Super Ocean, what is that, Supermarine, excuse me, Bremont Supermarine costs more. The Omega Aqua Terra costs more. That Seamaster Aqua Terra costs more. Is that Aqua Terra, right?
Yes.
The Calibre de Cartier. Calibre de Cartier is one of the StyleCon's favorite watches, more expensive, and of course, the Rolex Submariner. That watch costs less than all those watches. Carl Bucherer costs more than that watch. And that watch is put together absolutely well. And can it compare? Can any of those watches compare to the movement of that Spring Drive?
No, actually, they're all great movements. So I wouldn't say, you know, one's better than the other, but they're all good. They're all good, but see, the problem comes in is that price. Nobody wants to buy a Honda Accord for $90,000. So what did the Honda do? They created Acura, so they're charging more money, yes, but you don't feel like you're getting a $20,000 car for $90,000. And if they think they would do something with that name, that could help out. Matter of fact, Charles and I were talking about the Volkswagen Phaeton. This was a car Volkswagen came out with. They did like, what, an 8 and a 12 cylinder? Yeah. And it didn't sell well at all. If you want to check it out, there's videos on YouTube. This was expensive for a Volkswagen, $80,000, $90,000. People didn't want to pay the $90,000 because it had the Volkswagen name, and that's the reason why, me personally, I wouldn't pay for a watch that has that Seiko name on it for $5,000 for the same reason why I wouldn't buy a Volkswagen Rabbit for $90,000.
All right, I get it, but this is what I get. It seems like, because you said people wouldn't buy it, Americans wouldn't buy it. Americans have to have Lexus, they have to have Infiniti, they have to have Acura. They have to have it because it's the same car. If you go to other countries, they don't have those. They have that car, but it's still called a Honda. It's still called a Toyota. It's still called a Mazda. It's the same car. It's the same car.
Yeah, but see, now there's this thing called Chivas Regal mentality, and some people buy into Chivas Regal mentality. All because you pay more for something means it's better. And a lot of us Americans have that problem. So needless to say, you see that Seiko name, you go, this isn't better. I see that Cartier name. Oh, I know that name. It's gotta be better. Even though Charles and I have done a couple of watches like the Sin and the Breitling Navi Timer. Personally, I think the Sin is a better watch for less money. But some people have that Chivas Regal mentality. Oh, that Breitling has a bigger name. You know, Sin, that name, who's heard of it, you know? So you run into things like that. It can happen like with me with this watch. You know, not to get off subject too much, but it's because it has that Seiko name and you have that Chevy Regal mentality, you look at that name and you go, it's a Seiko. You didn't do anything. It's a regular old watch. That Cartier, that Rolex, that Breitling, people are going to look at that and go, you know what? If you're a watch person, you might look at that on a higher scale, even though that's not the way it should be, but it is.
Okay, I have a question for you. I think we can settle this. Maybe we get some understanding about it. Have you seen the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Diver yet, actually in your hand?
No. All I've read about it is in magazines, and most of the places I go to for watches, they don't carry the Grand Seiko brand.
Well, I have the answer to that. I know a place that has it right now. StyleCon, let's go see it.
I'm up for the drive.
All right. To settle this argument, here we are at Little Treasury Jewelers in Gambrills, Maryland, the authorized dealer of Seiko, and we have the Grand Seiko Diver. This is the watch StyleCon. Check it out, firsthand, in your hand.
I'm still not sold on it.
Yeah, that's not the argument though. The argument is compared to the other watches, the other competitors. But so the question really is, how does it stack up to watches that is the competitor that's on the same level, the other diver watches, the other luxury diver watches around?
Oh, you know what? I think it stands up quite well. Especially, you're going to spend less money on this than you would a Rolex. A Rolex, you're not going to really get this diver's extension, you know, the engraving on the buckle right there. I mean, that's beautiful. The engraving on the back of the watch itself, whereas Rolex is just a plain back. There's nothing there. I mean, you do get extra features with this watch, and I would not, deny that. I mean, let's put it this way: if they were to rebrand it, I would consider buying it.
What about compared to your favorite watch, that Calibre de Cartier? How does it compare to that?
I would say it's comparable, and once again, less expensive. This one has a little weight to it, which I like. The Cartier is a little lighter, but it does go through more to get its certification. But this isn't a bad watch. I mean, especially since you can save yourself, what is this, 150?
They changed the price. It used to be $2,000 more. It is now $5,700.
And that Cartier is like $8,500. So right there, you could save yourself about $3,400 just by buying this. I don't think it's bad. I get stuck on the name. That's my biggest gripe, the name. From the looks alone, it stacks up with the Rolex, to be quite honest. And obviously, I don't think Rolex makes the best watches, but needless to say, I think if you're going to spend Rolex money, you might want to consider looking at this. But the problem, once again, is that name being right there, Seiko. Now, I did a video about this subject, and actually with Charles. And the thing is, when you're wearing this out and about, and if you run into some people that don't collect wristwatches, you know, it looks like you got a $200 watch. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this if they would rebrand the name. Just get rid of the Seiko, like, you know, Honda does Acura. I mean, obviously, when you step outside of the country here, a Honda is a Honda. But in the United States, the Honda isn't a Honda, it's an Acura. You know, and I just wish they would do something like that. Okay, the only thing is I get stuck on the name, and it's a hard thing for me to get past. I know personally, like the watches I wear as it is, my Breitlings, my Panerai, people don't know what it is, so that doesn't bother me. But to wear this around, people are thinking I'm wearing a $200 watch and I paid $5K for it. Can't get past it.